welcome to the 60th episode of Downtime Podcast featuring Jeremy and Alyssa. Today is a very special Yakuza Spoilercast, right, Alyssa?
A 60th episode for the 6th episode of the Yakuza franchise.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if you want to be really technical, it's 7th because 0 is a prequel. But we're just gonna go with that. It's the 6th Yakuza, we have a spoiler cast ready, and it's the 60th episode.
Yes, indeed. Let's get right into it. So we both bought the special edition of the game. I think we mentioned this before. It comes with all the little trinkets, but they don't really add to the whole game aspect. There's no like DLC that came with it. It was more like this is fun to look at, and this is fun to use, and this is the game.
So I don't have collector's editions of things often. I really have to like something to buy it, and I'm really impressed with this collector's edition. It feels very thought out, as well as for the fans, for sure.
It's very useful.
Yeah, very useful, very pragmatic, and very meaningful in the art book as well.
Yeah, and at the time I didn't realize it, but I could tell why this special collector's edition was, the way it is because like not all the special editions so far for Yakuza in the US have always been like steel books. Well, Japan gets like stickers and stuff, but this one I think it was Kiryu's last ride, so of course they had to go all out.
I know, go hard or go home.
Exactly,
and they really did. It's a very well done packaging for sure.
Yeah. I wish I had more glasses though. I like these little bar glasses. They're so nice.
I swear, I bet you that type of thing's going to be if Sega probably has an online store.
Yeah, they do. They definitely do have an online store in the US.
I wonder if because of the rise of Yakuza, there's going to be more Yakuza products available on their online store.
Well, to add to that, as a side note, because I think of the rise of Yakuza, they decided to release Shenmue 1 and 2 to the West. Well, also because to promote the third game, but also because third-person action-adventure games set in Japan are, like, I guess becoming popular.
Okay.
So, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
So I just wanted to make a comment on the packaging, since I don't know if many people know that we bought the special edition versions, because we're huge fans of the series already, even though we've only played, was the third game that we both played.
Yes, definitely.
But we love to give our money to the series because we want more. We want more Yakuza games in the future, localized to the West.
And as we're recording this in a month and a half-ish, the Kiwami 2 game is going to come out.
Yep, I got that pre-ordered for sure.
I still haven't pre-ordered it, actually. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get an online copy. We'll see.
I'm just lazy.
For sure. So before I call a complete spoiler warning, I actually have a comment to make about the game.
And by the way, you can spoil whatever you want. We already said that at the beginning of this podcast, so you can say whatever you want.
It's true, but this is not a spoiler comment. So it would be if fans wanted to hear this, that's their prerogative.
Yeah.
The one thing that I noticed about this game that was very interesting to me was the cultural difference between Onomichi and Kamurocho, in that they were really trying to emphasize the tech versus the country. And I also want to make a comment that they really did their best in the English translation to show you that, hey, these people are from the countryside. They really they had the slang, they had the contractions. That was very interesting. Like, they even in the localization made that apparent.
Yeah, and it was also to express a different dialect, which I thought was really cool, because the Hiroshima dialect is actually kind of the basis for Yakuza films. For the way that Yakuza talk to each other in media is kind of based off the Hiroshima dialect. So it's kind of fun hearing it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It was very fun. To the point that I'm not a Japanese speaker, so sometimes a lot of the Japanese blends together, even if they're using different accents. But because this translation made me think that, oh, this is like a different area and accent. All of a sudden I started noticing the nuances even in the language.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's the Hiroshima dialect is very similar to the Kansai dialect, but they're also very different because of, you know, just location and proximity. So I thought it was really fun to hear the Hiroshima dialect. And then after I played the Yakuza Kiwami 2 demo, a little bit of it, I was hearing the Osaka dialect, and I was like, oh wow, like they sound really similar, but they're also very, very different.
For sure.
It's cool. I appreciate that they got the accents down as well for like literally everyone in the in Onomichi, unless they specify that they were from like Tokyo or, you know, not from Onomichi, then they had a different dialect. So I was like, wow, that's interesting. So did you play the bar game, the bar conversation game yet?
Oh yes. Okay, so the bar conversation game was absolutely my favorite sub-story in Yakuza 6.
Yeah.
And it felt like a regular sub-story, but very elevated and very personal. And I liked the idea that the sub-story was just the build-on of getting to know people in a bar, and you all collectively become friends with each other.
Yeah, it was literally like its own game in kind of a way, because the stories were so self-contained. It
really is. Oh man, I believe it's called The Price of Love. It was my favorite sub-story about the pawn store owner who finds out that he someone sold him a wedding ring from his ex-wife. Oh god, that one really hit me in the feels for sure.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, that was my favorite sub-story, I think, of the entire game, because just off of sheer, like, romanticness, and oh my god, it had, like, the funniest cut when Kiryu and the other bar people found out that they were talking to the ex-wife, and it was just like, I can't explain it, but like the cut was just hilarious.
Yeah, they're like, what?
What? Nani? So,
which is Kiryu's favorite word. I've come to learn. That was his.
I know.
He said that like at least 200 times during this game, and I was like, wow, Kiryu, please, how do you not know what's going on all the time? Like, it's like
Nani?
He's like,
Nani?
Oh my god, there's something that annoyed me about him. Anyways, my favorite bar snack story was probably the one where they're trying to help him, the dude find his teacher, or like, you know, like.
Oh, that was so hilarious! It was so hilariously adorable.
It threw me for a loop because I really thought it was a woman. Like, what? It's a man? He's like, what? What do you think?
Everyone at the bar got mad too.
Yeah.
When they realized it was a man.
Oh yeah, that was really funny.
I love these sub stories because they twist it on you. Like, it starts off funny to some degree, and then you find out the root of the truth.
Yeah.
And it typical Yakuza lesson, but I really appreciate these sub-stories.
Yeah. And I mentioned the bar because I wanted to point out that the mama of that bar did not have an accent, and the rest of the patrons had, like, the Hiroshima accent. And she did say at the end that she was from, like, Tokyo area, or not from Onomichi. So I was like, oh, that's why you sound different.
For sure.
Also, she's like mad crushing on Kiryu, but that's the ship horn went off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
story.
I was laughing so hard.
So I figured I'm not maxed out with Mama yet, so I assume that the final sub-story of that bar is Mama herself. But
I'm sorry.
I went straight to the game, so I'm actually gonna finish it on Premium Adventure. So it's all good.
My bad. I mentioned something that you had to do.
You did?
Never mind. Okay. Anyways.
Okay, I'm like, because
keep it that way.
It doesn't surprise me if she has a crush on Kiryu. Everyone has a crush on Kiryu.
Okay. Well, the way that she tells it is really funny. So once you finish once you finish her sub story, you're gonna start laughing.
Okay, for sure. And then also, I just want to point out that the baseball game and the clan games were also really fun too.
Oh, yeah.
And like, what I actually really like, sort of, is that they were systematic in that it was like a strategy game where you just kind of had to set your pieces, and then you could actually just fast forward the entire thing.
Yeah. Did you finish both of those games?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot to be done.
I'm almost done with the baseball one. The baseball one got really hard at the end because you have to have an all-star team, and I have an all-star team, but we're losing all the time.
Oh, I can imagine how difficult that game was already difficult to win the very first one.
Oh, man. Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
My advice to you, Alyssa, is you need to get 2 more all-star players that are based in Kamurocho, and they're both in the batting center, and
That's what I thought.
They make you do challenges to get them, and those challenges are kind of hard.
Oh, God.
So you have to do like home runs, but if you miss a home run, let's say you get to 5, right? You get 5 home runs. If you miss the 6th home run, you go back down to 0.
Oh man, it's like Shinada all over again, except much more difficult.
It's
all good
hard.
though.
It's hard, but then
No,
and my advice to you is if you're gonna bat, use the touchpad on the PS4 because it's much easier to aim with.
Yeah.
Instead of using like the joystick, but if you like the joystick, that's fine too. But I've just found the touchpad easier because it was more accurate.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, no worries.
Also, graphics were gorgeous. There were points where I was like, "Oh man, Kiryu looks like a fucking real person."
No, it was scary real.
Scary real, and oh god, I love this. I love this, especially Kamurocho when you're walking through the sign, and I especially love Onomichi when you're looking into the ocean. Oh, so beautiful.
Yeah, like just the visuals, the scenery, like the feeling of being in Japan. Like the Yakuza games know how to like put you into the story and make you feel like you're in Japan. And then the touch I liked the most about it was when you go first person, and like being first person is so cool too because you get to like see everything from Kiryu's perspective, and he's a tall guy. He's really tall. I just realized that.
Oh yeah, it's so funny because compared to his actor, like he's just so Kiryu is an anomaly. So. Yeah, he's just an anomaly.
So what did you think of the story overall? The main overarching story.
All right, let's get into the fucking story.
And then I have a question after that.
Okay. So you want to know my opinion overall?
Yeah.
Overall, I liked the story a lot, and I liked it. So I've played 0, Kiwami, 5, and 6, and if I had to rank it, I would do 5, 0, 6, and 1. Yes. It's interesting the direction that Yakuza 6 went because of the way that 5 was and the way 5 ended. So I almost wonder if my opinion of 6 would have been different if I didn't play Yakuza 5 first. And because I played Yakuza 5, it kind of in a way altered the way that I felt about the ending of the game. And when I say the ending, I mean like actually the final chapter.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah, but
and I really do need to play 5. So I'm still waiting for that Western release for 5.
Probably gonna come out in 2020 at this rate, or 2021.
Well, there'll be a Yakuza every year.
True.
Or two a year until then, I guess.
Yeah. And then by the time that happens, then the new character Ichiban's gonna come in.
We'll see. We'll see how we feel about him.
I know. Okay, what was your other question?
Yeah, who's your favorite character?
Oh, by a long shot, my favorite character is Nagumo.
Oh, that's mine too.
Yes!
I love him.
Yes, he's amazing. God, I think I would have been the most upset if he ended up being a bad guy. Like, I would have... Like, yeah. I was already a hot mess when Hirose... But like, if Nagumo was actually a bad guy, it would have been the end of the world for me, to be honest.
If he died, it would have been the end of the world for me, because I didn't want him to die.
Oh my god. I really thought that at some point he was going to take a bullet. I was like, oh, like, my heart.
And he did. He did take a bullet, right?
And he took a slash. Several of them.
Yeah, he's... Oh, man. Yeah, I think I liked him the most because of his story arc. Because he went from like lowly like family Yakuza head that just like hit on this bar lady to I'm gonna go save the fucking world, basically.
Yeah, basically, kind of was like he was a captain, but because at the time Hiroshima didn't have a lot of action, there really wasn't much to stand up for, and then eventually turning into a complete full-fledged captain who's just like, Kiryu, we're gonna take care of this by ourselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna lead the team. Like, me and the boys are gonna go out there.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. But really, the whole entire Hirose family, I really love them. They're a ragtag bunch.
Yeah, and I'm glad that they all didn't die, because I felt like some of them were gonna die.
I really did feel like someone was gonna die. I actually felt, well, I mean, technically one of them dies. But I actually thought that it was gonna be Yuta or Nagumo who was gonna die. If someone had to die, it was gonna be either the two of them. Yeah. But thank God.
I felt like Yuta wasn't gonna die simply because of the story.
The way the story progressed, it eventually became clear, like, oh, they're gonna try to not kill him off.
Yeah, and I thought Nagumo was gonna die, just because, like, it just felt like he was, like, felt right, you know? And plus, we thought that Kiyomi died, so we're like, oh, okay, it looks like he's gonna die too eventually, because Somea died, Kiyomi died, but then I was like, oh shit, Kiyomi's back, and she's wearing the exact same thing.
Yes.
She's here.
So going actually into Mama, and when you first get to Hiroshima, God, what a weird turn of events where basically everyone knew about Haruka and they all kept it a secret for like a good 4 chapters of the game. Actually.
I know. And then Kiryu's like, man, I get this weird sense that someone's hiding something and you're all hiding it. And we didn't say it outright until like the end of that chapter.
It's funny, too, because Kiryu's like, I know y'all are hiding something, but I'm just going to wait, because I'm not leaving anyway.
He's like, I'll let guilt take over and let you tell me. But that never happened, but he's got it fed up with it. He's like, just fucking tell me.
I know.
It's so funny.
Yeah. I also actually really liked Mama's character, too.
Yeah, me too. I think her overall arc was really good. Also, I have to say this, going back to Nagumo and Mama, I like both of their real life actors because they're, you know, their likenesses are based on real people, and I've seen a bunch of movies and TV shows with them in it, and so I already liked them before this game happened, so I like them even more now, they're actors and actresses, because of like just the way that they presented themselves in a video game, like they made it seem like so realistic.
Yes, definitely. All of the voice actors, I recognized them in the end. Yeah. And that was really fun.
Yeah.
Also,
that's so cool.
It was, man, you see, I don't know Japanese industry that much, but for one, I probably expected Hirose. Hirose is a popular actor.
Yep, that's Beat Takeshi.
Just because, and I wonder how Japanese people felt playing this game when they were like, oh my god, all these actors are in this game. I
mean, I know some people were like, we finally have a Yakuza game with Beat Takeshi, because he's like the dude that kind of pioneered Yakuza cinema in a way, in the West especially. So, if for a lot of Western audience people, they knew him as, you know, the guy from Battle Royale, I guess from like the Outrage series, Kikujiro, all these other different movies, and when they're like, oh, finally he's in a Yakuza video game, it's like, oh wow, this seems very fitting. But the guy, I think I mentioned this before, but the guy that plays Nagumo is actually like a well-known comedian, especially like in the Osaka area. So it was really weird for him playing a serious role. Like, I showed our mutual friend Yuri. She's from Osaka, Alyssa, and then I showed.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, and I showed her the photo book, and I showed her like, oh, look who it is. She's like, what the hell? Like, why is he in the game? I'm like, you know, I don't know. So yeah.
Because why not?
That's pretty much the whole series. That's what the whole series is based on. Like, because why not?
Yes, because why not?
You want to?
Because it's fucking Yakuza.
Like, when you're fighting a bunch of dudes in a convenience store and you press triangle, you could slam his head through the microwave and then the guy will microwave it for you. Why not?
Oh my god. I love how fighting in those convenience stores or those restaurants, you just smash a window, and right after the battle, order, and they just give you a look like, bitch.
They're like, hey, yeah, you just messed up my store. Get the hell out of here. I was laughing so hard.
I know. So, one more comment about Nagumo, especially in his story arc, but his treatment of Kiyomi after he found out all of these secrets and how, like, he had this crush, but really he has a lot of respect and admiration for this woman. And I just the scene where they're at the bar and they come to terms. Oh man, that was such a beautiful scene. I totally cried. I cried a lot in this game.
I know what you mean. It was really cool. Yeah. I mean his overall arc was really well done with Kiyomi, because he went from I'm going to be an asshole to you and anyone who tries to touch you to I understand what's going on. I understand you. I respect you, and now I have a duty to fulfill. And a sense of honor because of what Somaya said. So going back to your ranking for the stories, for myself, I would put 0 at the top and then 6 and then Kiwami, because I haven't played it. I haven't played any other games, but I do like the fact that Zero had 2 protagonists, but again, I'm beating a dead horse because we've talked about this so many times. I think that overall the game was really well thought out. There was enough twists and turns to keep you going, but there were some moments that just felt way too long. You know, like there was just so much exposition. There came a point where I was trying to leave to go do stuff with my brother. And we were just sitting there because I needed to save, and we were about to leave to watch a movie, and I was like, all right. So then we're playing.
You just leave it running. You leave your PlayStation.
Well, see, I didn't think about that at the time because I was like, we'll just get to this part. So then I was at the part where they reveal the secret of Onomichi, the giant ship, and then I was waiting for them to keep talking. You know how it cuts from really professional looking cutscene to just them talking with the text box dialogue. It came to that part and I was like, oh my god, this exposition is so stupid. So I kept pressing X to fast forward through it, and I could read faster than I could listen to them speak. So I was just reading all of it, and then by the time it was over, it was like 30 minutes. I was like, that was 30 minutes of me pressing X. That was just so stupid. Man, that's fine.
Oh my
that was
god.
Like I told you, there's some moments where I'm like, this is just a movie. I'm just gonna sit here and watch it.
Yeah. Especially towards the end.
Ugh.
You know, honestly, the final battle scene where Nagumo and Kiryu decide to go back to Onomichi, they did the favor of you of cutting the scene of them returning to Onomichi.
Yep. They're like, hey, you're in Onomichi.
They just went straight to it. They're just like, fuck it, we're just
they're like, hey, you're in Onomichi. It's like, okay. I will accept this.
Yes, exactly. So that was funny.
Yeah.
So Komeya was a very Somaya.
Yeah.
Somaya was a very interesting character when you find out that he's the ex-husband of Kiyomi, and just kind of a very non-traditional clan member.
Yeah,
to be honest, especially the way he was running business and everything. He's very flashy for sure.
And he didn't have any tattoos.
I thought
that was very interesting and progressive because it kind of reflected the time.
Yes, because it was 2015 or something.
16. It was 2016. Yeah. So I was like, wow. I'm sure the producers or the writers did their research, because I have a feeling that I haven't really looked into modern Yakuza culture or lore.
Yeah.
But I just feel like modern Yakuza don't wear tattoos because, they want to be able to conduct business appropriately in onsens, but also to show that they're moving forward without the need to, waste their time putting ink on their back to show it for anything. They want to show that they're businessmen, but also, a ruthless businessman.
Oh yeah, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense to me for sure.
Yeah, so that was really progressive that Somaya didn't have any tattoos as a Yakuza.
Yeah, and he was a bit of a flawed character. Flawed in the sense that, he wasn't outright terrible
I mean, he was kind of slimy and sneaky,
he was slimy, but he was one of those like troubled people, troubled youth, as I would like to call it.
Yeah. And the actor that played Somaya is also extremely famous in Japan, and I just want to point out that actor did very, very well with his character, and he went all out, so I gotta give him props too. That guy was in Boys Over Flowers, the original, like 2003. And a bunch of other stuff, but yeah.
From Boys Over Flowers to...
running the Yakuza, Tojo clan.
Running the Yakuza. So real quick, Shun Ogiri?
Yeah.
Oguri. I think he was in this other show that I really liked.
Ouroboros?
Hana Zakari. Yeah, Hana Kimi. Yeah, so Shun Oguri is in Hana Kimi, and he's like one of the best characters of the show.
Yeah.
God, and yeah, he's been in a lot of romantic comedies in his life. So.
Yeah. He has quite an experience under his belt.
Yeah, he has so many different roles. So it was so great to see him in this. Ugh. Yeah.
Great. He's great.
How do you feel about the game basically including Triads and Jingguan, and just like it wasn't necessarily about clan versus clan, but it got international?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting and fun. Also, I haven't played the previous games because I know the Jingguan and the Sayo Triad are from previous games that we didn't see, because I think 3 or 4 deals with the Korean Mafia. And then I know the Triad are in a previous game as well that we haven't touched yet. But
I see.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting, but I didn't really understand why they were there in the beginning, because I didn't play the other games and I didn't want to read up on the stuff in the menu because I wanted to play the games before,
As the story progressed, the Triads made more sense than the Jingguan.
Yeah.
Like the Jingguan, like the Triads were very clear, like what was going on, and then the Jingguan was like, "Oh, I gotta read Reddit real quick."
Yeah. they're like, hey, we're here too. That's how it felt to me. I still don't understand why they're there, but I will probably figure that out once I play 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, essentially what I understood was they also wanted a piece of power too, so they had an alliance with Iwami and, Triads to some degree.
Yeah. Also, straight up, Han Joong-gi looked like Top from Big Bang.
They really went out of their way to make him look like a pop star.
And I was like, I get it. At the same time, like this isn't realistic.
Like very, very stereotypical Korean pop star. I was like, huh.
Right?
This is interesting.
Yeah. Also, it was really funny because I think they used 2 different actors for his Korean voice and his Japanese voice, but it was so obvious. And that's how it was for like the people speaking Mandarin and their Japanese voice actors. Like it was so obvious it was a different person, but I was like, it doesn't detract me that much. But it did kind of pull me out for a second. I was like, is that a different voice actor? Oh, it is. Okay. That's fine too. And making all the Triad voice actors that are Japanese speak with a Chinese Japanese accent. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yes, definitely.
Especially Ed. He had a very thick Chinese accent when he was speaking Japanese.
Oh yes.
And I was like, oh cool. This is very fun.
Felt much more realer.
Nani ga shimasu ka? I was like, ooh, cool.
All right, so going into the Triads, now we're getting into business because essentially you find out, okay, so if anyone has listened to a couple episodes before this, I made a prediction that I was pretty positive that Yuta was the father. Based off of me analyzing storylines too much in movies.
Yeah.
There was no young character introduced aside from Yuta that it didn't make sense. Because there's one thing for sure as the story progressed and maybe basically after Kiryu and them became friends.
Yeah.
I knew that the father was someone that was going to be someone we already knew, because I feel like it would have been an injustice to the game and Haruka if the father was just a really random person, or if the father was already dead, actually.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, especially because Kiryu brought the baby down to Hiroshima.
Yeah.
So I actually, like, from that point, I knew that we had to have known the character.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I get what you're saying.
That being said, when Tatsukawa ended up being dead, I was just like, okay, Yuta's gotta be the father, because this guy's fucking dead.
Yeah, same. Same. I was like, okay, the writers wouldn't just throw this guy away if he was the father. Like, there's no way. There's gotta be more to this than that.
Exactly. And then it got confusing with the whole Triad thing, because Tatsukawa ended up being First of all, can I just say that for you to be undercover when you're like freaking 12 years old or whatever as a Triad and befriend someone, that's a lot of like, how the fuck do you do that?
Yeah, right? What the heck? How do I do that now? I'm 26. I can do it, right?
Yeah. Like, who the hell does that? That's like some bloodline dedication. Holy shit.
They did say that the Triad are very dedicated to their bloodlines, though.
I know. Until the end, but, you know, who am I to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just thought it was crazy how these motherfuckers, like, perpetuated this lie for so long. And you know what the funny thing about all of this is? I bet you if they just left Yuta alone, we would have never found out. He would have, none of this would have ever happened, actually.
And that's okay.
Yeah. And then I got really confused because they were talking about Triads so much, and they were talking about this baby, that finally it clicked, and I was like, this fucking baby's Chinese.
Yep, but that means Yuta's Chinese.
Except it didn't click at first, because I was like, wait, but Yuta's not Chinese. I'm so confused. And then, like, the final reveal, I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was crazy. That whole thing, the Secret of Onomichi, Haruto being the key, like, it was so confusing at first, but then after a while, I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. This is, okay. We're gonna roll with this now, huh?
By the way, really random, when it was finally revealed that he was a father, I was like, yes! Because at that point, you didn't want because aside from being right, you didn't want anyone else to be the father. Yuta's a pretty okay kid. Like, basically, what we didn't want was Haruka to date a dick. That was the only thing we all didn't want. So
okay. At first, honestly, I thought the father would be Akiyama. I don't know why.
Dude, that would be some crazy shit, though. Like,
I was like, damn, if Akiyama was the father, that would be weird, first of all. Second of all, it would seem plausible. In the beginning, it seemed kind of plausible, but of course, towards the end, you're like, okay, there's no way no one else could be the father. But, yeah, no, I in the beginning, I didn't think it was Yuta. I thought it was someone else.
I thought it was Yuta basically after chapter 5, and then I was team Yuta from then on.
You were right, too. Because you kept texting me, like, all these things about Yuta, and I was like, I can't say anything, you know? I kept saying, you'll see, because I don't know what to tell you.
I know. Well, I didn't expect you to respond to me anyways. I was just telling you, like, dude, this fucking guy, this motherfucker, like...
Yep. Especially with the Hirose stuff recently. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where you are.
Oh my gosh.
Hirose, Patriarch Hirose.
Patriarch Hirose, fist, waving fist in the air. The whole reveal of Haruto and Yuta was actually pretty fun. At this point, Yuta's having an existential crisis, and he's just like, dude, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm a Triad, like, you know, I'm unfit to be this father, blah, blah, blah. And then Nagumo is just like, Yuta, you better get on this boat right now, or I'm going to punch you in the face. And then Nagumo straight up is punching him in the face until Kiryu stops him. And you think that Kiryu is going to say something insightful like, no. And then what follows is, Nagumo, there's only one person who deserves to punch this guy in the face. It was so well done. I was like, oh, yes.
And he threw him through the door. I was like, oh, God, dude.
I know. It doesn't get any better than that. I love that scene so much.
Yeah, you just like, I'm gonna be saved. He's like, no.
Nope, not today.
No, you get the wrath, the Dragon of Dojima.
Did Yuta know the entire time that he was the father and kept it a secret? Or did Yuta just kept the secret that he was in a relationship with Haruka and therefore he was a contender to being the father?
The latter.
Okay.
Okay,
sure.
Because he was really surprised that was his baby.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Because there was a point I was like, I don't understand what was the secret anymore, but I get it.
Yeah. No, I mean, damn. I'm honestly like, man, I don't know if this is the place to talk about it. I don't know what Haruka saw in him. I don't know what happened that night. You know what I mean?
Well, first of all, he saved her from being embarrassed by the tabloids and the media.
I remember that, yeah.
And I don't know. The guy seems pretty chill. And, he was protective of her.
Was she all like, oh, protect my babies too? Was she like that? Or was she like, oh, Yuta? You know what I mean?
Oh, God. I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm just curious. Look. This game has everything. It's got like porn stars, so I was just wondering like how far they'd go with the other stuff, but I guess they didn't go very far.
I don't think they've ever showed someone kiss in this game. Unless...
No.
Okay, because at first I was like, oh, these two... I'm waiting for like the first kiss scene, and it never happened. I was actually most upset we didn't get a first kiss scene, but...
Yeah, for a game that's M-rated, they don't have a lot of stuff like that between the main characters. They'll do it with the sub-stories, but they don't do it with the main characters.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, it's an interesting direction to go.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it was because of the motion capture. Maybe they couldn't do it correctly. I don't know. Who knows? To be honest, maybe it's a culture thing. I don't know.
The whole scene where they basically burn down the Triad headquarters in Little Asia. And that scene with Big Lo and how essentially they save him in the end. What really touched on the theme of this entire story, which Kiryu actually goes into later, which we'll talk about again, but the theme of parents and kids and relationships. And yeah. And how, like, the reason why a lot of kids go off the rails sometimes is because they don't have any guidance of any kind.
That's what this whole game was about, right?
It's actually it's if you think about it now, it's what this whole franchise is about.
It's about delinquents becoming heroes, becoming delinquents. Yeah.
And then finding family.
Mm-hmm.
But
I don't have a family, but you're our family now. Is pretty much like the message of the whole game.
I know. And I swear, Yuta had gone off the rails. A lot of times Yuta was going off the rails and just like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself. And then Kiryu's just like, shut the fuck up! You're gonna fucking live and then take care of your goddamn child. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you and carry you out of this.
He said that at least 3 times, Yuta. Yeah. And I'm like, Yuta, you fucking idiot. And Kiryu got so pissed off too. Yeah. Like, what you just said was so funny. Like,
I know.
He's like, Yuta, this is like the 3rd time you said that. Can you shut the fuck up for 1 second and just live? Like, why are you being a little dick right now? Come on. It was so funny. Like,
I just thought like it was so hilarious. So,
yeah, I know,
like,
right?
Just like, I just found out that you're my son-in-law, and you better shut the fuck up. Essentially, it was what happened.
He's like, now we're practically related, so shut up.
Yeah.
You're gonna take care of your baby. Because Yuta's logic is stupid too. He's like, don't worry, Haruka has you. Haruka and Haruto have you, Kiryu. And he's like, no, what the fuck? No. He was like, man, like that's your responsibility now. Be a man about it.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, Yuta's gonna live.
Yes.
So let's talk about the. Oh, go ahead.
I have one more. So going into the Secret of Onomichi, I'm just unless that was actually what we were going to talk about next.
No.
Okay, I actually was curious. Did you need to look up the code, or did it click for you, and did you figure out the code and how to find it?
Are you talking about the stones?
The stones.
No, well, I just walked up to a stone after because I thought there was like a secret trophy for getting all of the reading all the stones. So then there was one more I had to go to, and so I went to that one and I read it. And then it shows the cutscene. He's reading it, and then it cuts to another cutscene. I was like, oh shit, what's this? And then I was like, oh fuck, they're all on the stones. So then I just went to all the stones and I did that. So I didn't look it up. That's
awesome. I was about to say I stumbled upon it too, and I'm actually really proud that I did. Like I felt even more accomplished not looking it up.
Yeah. I mean, there were some things, granted, I looked up about this game, but none of it was related to the main story.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, anytime there's a sub-story or, like, some kind of menial thing that you have to, like, answer to, like the cats and the food, it's just like, oh, fuck it. I'm not gonna waste my time. But, this one, I actually really liked this a lot, how you found the code. It was very clever. Because I felt the same way as you did. And I was like, oh, I have to read all of these eventually, so I'm just going to read some of them throughout the game. And then what actually happened was I was getting really desperate because I was talking to people and trying to find a hint, but like, that wasn't the direction you were supposed to go in the first place. And then what ended up happening, because I was just like, maybe the hint is at Senkoji Shrine. And so I went up the mountain. And then, conveniently, the guy who tells you about the stones was still there, and I guess I never talked to that guy.
And you're like, who's this guy?
Yeah, and I never talked to that guy ever, and then that's when he introduced the stones, and I was like, oh, that's funny. Like, after all this time of reading the stones, I've never actually talked to him. And then he's standing next to a stone, so I read it because I wanted to get the trophy, supposedly, if there was a trophy to get the poems, I wanted it, so I read it. And then it did that thing with the second cutscene, and I was like, "Oh my god!" and then it clicked, and so.
So did you understand the whole Secret of Onomichi?
So the Secret of Onomichi, I felt okay. First of all, there is a goddamn boat underneath the Hiroshima Bay. So
not just a boat, a World War II recreated battleship.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck?
So oh god, where do I even begin? Okay, the Secret of Onomichi, it's not necessarily the fucking huge ass boat. It's the fact that after Japan had been demilitarized, they've been still making militarized things behind the scenes. The Yakuza have. Or like
using laundered money.
Yes, have been using laundered money to make militarized weapons. I think that was
it's pretty much about money. It's all about like stolen money and putting it towards something that the symbol of Japan, what it once was before.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and it was a weird secret when they revealed it. I was like, the fuck? A boat came out. I was like, oh, it's the Yamato, and they're like, oh, it's the Yamato Mark II. And I was like, okay.
How do you feel about the Iwamis in general? And Kurisu? And, I
thought they were good bad guys. His son is definitely ruthless.
Yeah.
And I thought that the motivations that drove the son were definitely... Of course, it was all power. That's what all the games are about.
It's interesting because it juxtaposes Jimmy and Big. Because Jimmy was just like, hey, Dad, like, I did all of this, like, you, like, look what I did. I just want you to acknowledge that I did this. And then he went for more of a, kind of, it was more tender, versus Tsuneo, which was just like, you haven't noticed me all this time. I knew about the Secret of Onomichi for 40 years, so I'm gonna shoot you. Yeah.
Right?
Hirose was a roller coaster and a half in this entire series. And, like, dealing with that guy, oh my god, has given me such a headache the entire time.
Yeah.
What really got to me was the scene where Matsunaga and Nagumo, like, were trying to save him, and then he goes, if I died, I actually thought it would be one of the two of you killing me. And it flashed back to him killing their parents. And I was like, oh my god, this is exactly like Kazuma.
Yep.
And I was so so upset and crying so hard. I was like, oh my god, no.
No.
Yeah, that was a really powerful scene, especially like the tie back to how a lot of orphans in Yakuza are because that they, like, the chairman had killed their father in some way. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, that was really sad that when I heard that, I was like, oh no, this is so sad but so true.
I know. What really got me is that a little bit of the dialogue, Matsunagi, he knew what the ship was already when it surfaced, and he kind of knew like random things about the Navy, but that like wasn't, you didn't really think about.
Remember Matsunaga was working on it at the bar?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I totally didn't realize. I totally forgot about that scene too. Oh, I'm so.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
I'm even more upset now.
I just see the fact I liked about Hirose was that, even though he was a cold-blooded murderer, like he was humanized in the fact that he cared for these kids, and so he took care of them himself. I was like, "Aw,
it's exactly really like Shintaro Kazuma and Nishiki and Kiryu.
Yeah,
like exactly.
Yeah. But it's a very I feel like it's a very beat Takeshi thing because like
totally.
in his movies, when he's playing a Yakuza like killer, like he's very very cold-blooded and he's like this badass, but then he has like this very compassionate side to him. Like he cares for like little animals or flowers or kids or something. It's like this weird contrast, but it works out really well.
If you think about it, the actors for Yuta and Hirose basically played the same exact personality that they played in Battle Royale.
oh yeah, that's right. And they were So what did you think about the very, very end hour-long movie part? Because I will share my thoughts now. I thought Kiryu was dead, and I was going to be okay with that.
Okay, so where do I even begin? Okay, so Kiryu dying. Oh my god, like that whole entire scene. If he was dead, if they ended the credits at that, I would have fucking believed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, me too.
I would have been like, oh my god, my fucking life.
At that part in Okinawa, I thought he was gonna, walk out there and be like, hey, like Haruto would be like, well, uncle, or something like that. But then no, like he was really pulling a Batman. He just didn't do it.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I yelled out loud, like when the second pair of credits came in and the game was officially over. It's like, it's Batman.
It's Batman. You said that?
I really yelled it.
Of all the things you said, it's Batman.
Yes, I know.
Okay, that's fine too. No, I mean, they definitely pulled a Marvel where they showed like that kind of like not really post credit scene, but like mid credit scene where he like walked away in Okinawa. So
yes, I think that's how Yakuza 0 ended too, though. So right?
Yakuza 0 ended with like Kiryu-chan,
right? Yeah. But they had that post credit thing.
Oh yeah.
After the fact, I did not mind that he didn't die because it was still on his terms, and although it was depressing as fuck, he knew that to really protect Haruka, he had to not be alive anymore.
Yeah,
because no matter what, if he's alive, like even if he like retires somewhere to Fukuoka, which is basically what Yakuza 5 is about, if people know that he's alive, then they're still gonna attack his family. What was weird to me was the way that the death was faked, and I say that because a random politician came in and was basically like, we need you, we'll give you hush money. And he goes, and you know me, I'm not a huge fan of Deus Ex Machina type endings.
Yeah, and they didn't show his face or didn't say his name, and that's kind of what bothered me the most, because I thought it would be someone from a past game that we probably haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But no, it was just some dude. I was like, this is
exactly.
stupid.
No, I was really expecting, like, all of a sudden we were gonna find some Kazuma or, like, Dojima we've never seen before. And, like, that was, yeah. But then...
I don't know, yeah. It just felt unjustified, you know?
Yeah. But then... So, a few people have also interpreted it differently, and one of it having to do with Date being the only witness, and that it can't be anyone in the Yakuza who knows that he's still alive.
Oh, I see.
And then I was like, okay, that makes sense. So when I read that, I was like, I get it. And then also, someone made a prediction that what if this character that you don't see might be a new villain of the upcoming Yakuza game. So, or
Oh,
so someone also brought that up too. But we'll obviously see what happens.
Yeah.
I felt that the way that Yakuza 5 ended, I would have liked to see Kiryu and Majima have one more scene. Yakuza 5 featured so many characters that some of them weren't really wrapped up in 6. I was like, kind of surprised that they didn't include them at all in the storyline or a sub-story.
I was like, man, when are they going to expand on all these other characters? But I guess it's for a future game. Who knows? You know what? Who knows? Because this is only Kiryu's last adventure, not the series' last adventure.
It is true. It's very true.
So... I'm speculating that we're going to see Kiryu again, but as a sub-story, like a side character that helps the main character through the plot, but not necessarily a playable character.
You can't, if you killed him off, then he can never come back as a side thing, ever.
Yeah, he's probably going to help the main protagonist in the future.
If he helps the main protagonist in the future, then I also don't know how I would feel about that, especially if the main character is a Tojo clan member in the future, because then it's like, dude, you just like left your daughter and your grandson and actually your entire clan, and you're helping out this guy now.
Yeah, no, it needs to be justified if he does it.
Yeah, so
he needs to have like a very specific and moral reason for doing it.
Yeah,
outside of the other specific and moral reasons he's already done the things he's done.
Yeah, exactly. I actually think that realistically, if Kiryu is brought back, it's because we might do the thing again where people need to find him for help, because I just feel like it's not, at this point, the way they ended it, it's not characteristic for him to just all of a sudden help out this new Ichiban character.
And plus only like 2 people know he's alive.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Technically 3 if you count Haruto. That'd be funny if Haruto grows up like drawing pictures of Kiryu, but he doesn't know who he is. And he's like, "Who's this guy? Who's this guy? You know, like who's this guy that I don't remember? I know what he looks like, but I don't remember him." And they're like, "Oh, he's no one. He's just a comic book character.
Yeah, he's just this one guy."
Yeah, he's not with us anymore. He was your uncle. He's dead now. But anyways, you know.
Oh, and then the letter that Kiryu writes to Dojima, it was supposed to be a tender moment, but I laughed out loud when it was actually about Dojima.
Well, why are you laughing?
Because I was expecting it to be about Haruka.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, oh my god, it's about Dojima. And then I laughed because I was like, oh shit. Which makes sense, because the entire series, you know how Kiryu feels about Haruka. You don't really need to write it in a letter again.
Yeah, like I feel like he wasn't. See, when they showed him writing a letter in the hospital, and they were like Yuta and Haruka were playing in the background, I thought he was either writing his will, which technically it was kind of his will. That
wouldn't surprise me either.
Yeah, or he was writing a letter to Haruka. But then when it wasn't either of those things, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh, I guess he's trying to give guidance. Yeah,
exactly. It's like that was a letter as a father of the Tojo clan giving guidance. A forefather, to be exact.
I was like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
And also, really random, I like how Somaya still refers to Kiryu as the 4th chairman.
Yes.
I was like, wow, this guy's very, he's very upholding of original traditions, but he's also more like, Yeah, like it's time to go in a new direction. And he's like, "Oh, Yondaime." I was like, "Ooh, so cool, so cool."
I know, dude. He ain't the dragon of Dojima for nothing.
Exactly.
Like, it almost makes sense that he didn't die, because fuck, after all these times and he didn't die yet, and for him to die from that is just like, yeah, I get it. I feel you.
I mean, he was like, what, shot so many times?
Yeah.
And he hasn't died?
Yes, exactly.
So I was like, damn, nothing can kill Kiryu. Like, literally nothing can kill Kiryu.
Nothing.
Crazy. It's crazy
I know.
stuff.
But, also, hold on. Okay. So, in Yakuza 6, Kiryu is, I think, like 40-ish or 50-ish, and he so does not look that age still. But, like, I think that's also now the fault of the Dragon Engine looking so good.
When I played the Yakuza Kiwami 2 demo, coming fresh off of 6, I was like, they look exactly the same. Like, they aged him a little bit in 6, but in Kiwami 2, he still looks pretty much the same, but not really that much younger. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell what age he is.
I know.
Really, just by looks alone.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, wow. But what a beautiful game, Alyssa. This is probably the most beautiful Yakuza game.
Oh, 100%. And imagine that, like, if everything else is rebuilt in this engine. Oh, God.
I mean, they probably won't do 3, 4, 5 in this engine, but every future game will be in this engine. So
I will say, coming off of 5, it would be fucking amazing if they redid this if they redid 5 in this engine, because of all the 5 different locations that you visit. That would be insane if they pulled that off.
I would buy it.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane if they pulled it. So
I'm throwing my money at the screen, but there's no more Yakuza games coming.
Exactly.
Come on, where are the games?
Okay, so by the way, you know how Kiryu was like, I considered you like a father? Blah 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 to Dojima or Daigo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was legit confused at a point because I thought they were the same age, actually, or like closer to the same age. And then I was like, oh, how much younger is Daigo? I'm confused.
Yeah, Daigo. I don't know how old he is, but I know he might be in his 30s by the time of Yakuza 6.
Okay.
So,
for sure. Yeah, that confused me. I was like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
I thought he was way older.
Yeah, I know. It's the beard.
It's the beard. It's the beard.
Like, it's not that I feel like Kiryu's arc, I'm okay with his arc being done at the end of 6, but I just want to play all the other games with Kiryu to see how his arc became over, you know what I mean?
So now that I've experienced, like, 2 Yakuza games where Kiryu's trying to escape it, I'm kind of ready to go back into a Yakuza where he's just straight up, like, the Dragon of Dojima.
Yeah.
Ruthlessly,
same.
yeah. But,
yeah.
I think one more really random comment I wanted to make before we end this is I really like the music of this game. It's like, it feels like a elevated version of every game that we've seen so far. But also, the really random, my favorite song out of this game is the Today is a Diamond song.
Oh, yeah. Did you 100% that song?
No, it's part of the... I'm going to be number 1 ranked in Japan. I will be.
Do it. Get on my level.
Mark my words. Get on my level. Yeah. I also really like the sub-story music in this game. Specifically, the ending sub-story music where they have a revelation and they come to terms.
It's like, it's piano, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it's piano.
I thought it kind of sounded like "See You Again," the Charlie Puth Wiz Khalifa song.
Yeah.
So I was like low-key waiting for that song to come on. I was like,
yes.
I guess it's not that song, but this is good.
Yes.
It was, yeah. I like the music overall. I think the music is great. Did you hear Bakamitai in the snack bar in Hiroshima?
Yes, I did. Snack Gaudi, new Snack Gaudi, yeah.
I was like, why can't we sing it?
I know.
But yeah, Today's a Diamond is the only song I've 100%ed so far, and the other ones are a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
But I'm getting there. I mean, that's one of the things I'm working on.
Yes.
I'm probably going to play baseball right after we finish this podcast.
Very nice.
Not in real life in the game because, I play video games. And not video games, so.
But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the game a lot.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's hard to, when it comes to the Yakuza series, it's hard to displease me. I'm pretty much entertained by everything in the game. There's always something fun to do in the games. Like the clan creator stuff got really hard though, because it feels like an RTS. Yeah. But at the same time, like you have to level everyone up, and all my guys are still like, in their early 30 levels. So I'm at the point now where everything is just so much harder. Like all the bad guys are like, have like rocket launchers now. I'm like, how do I win? So we'll see. Yeah.
So really random. The Yakuza games, the Japanese name for it.
Ryuga Gotoku? This
entire time, and also I should have realized this, it's not a fucking translation of Yakuza.
No, it's not.
And then when I realized the translation actually means like a dragon, or I was like, that's way more badass than yeah. I was like,
there's no word of Yakuza in it.
I was like, that's so hardcore. And that's a random side story. And also, the new game is going to be called, like, a new dragon, but, like, that's the name of the project. It's not necessarily the name of the game yet. So
yeah, it could be 7 for
like,
all
it could be 7 for all we know. They could, like Yakuza New Beginnings, like, who knows?
Yakuza, the reboot.
Alright. So now, play and pre-order Kiwami 2. Play as much Yakuza as you can, and
please support the localization team by buying the games in the West.
Yes. As you know, hit us up at contact@Downtime.Live, www.Downtime.Live, twitter.com/Downtime.Live, and any platform where we have the podcast. Write us a comment and let us know how you feel about Yakuza 6.
Yeah. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Yes. And have a good day.
Bye.